in a sense, a wartime president. I mean, that's what we're fighting.
The assembly lines of the automobile industry now become assembly lines of defense. The same men who in the past 20 years designed and built over 70 million passenger cars and trucks are bending their wills and their talents to the task of building weapons for the protection of America.
In times of crisis, we have technology, we have productive capacity. It makes perfect sense to stop what you're doing for the time being and to go into a different mode and maybe to produce different things. If we need ventilators, we better start producing ventilators, better start producing them en masse.
A thing like this has never been requested, and we've never had to even think in terms of these numbers, but we need millions of masks, and all of that will be ordered. We need respirators. We need ventilators is a big thing because it's a complex piece of equipment.
It may not seem strange that a factory should produce 250,000 machine guns. And the quantity production of 2 different types of propellers in one factory may not seem unusual.
The parallels between what we're going through right now and what we went through in World War II are flying thick and furiously in the air right now. There was a deep cooperation between government and industry in World War II.
The strange thing is that only a short time before, these factories were producers of electric refrigerators. Long before the manufacture of refrigerators was stopped, in fact 16 months before Pearl Harbor, plans were being made for the mass production of war products in this factory.
I'm Dr. Rob Cetino, the senior historian at the National World War II Museum in New Orleans, Louisiana. Now, you can start out with President Roosevelt, even before the war, his first inaugural address.
Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
You know, the worst thing that could happen is that we lose ourselves to fear and forget our common purpose as Americans. Pearl Harbor changed American life completely. But in terms of shifting over to war production, it took 18 months, and it happened just in time. But that 18-month period, the terminus of it coincided with the beginning of the war.
Then the picture changed, and defense became the #1 job. America began to arm on land, at sea, and in the air. And to Chrysler Corporation went one of the toughest assignments of all. More than 250 Dodge Army trucks were being turned out each day. But no one in the United States had ever turned out giant 31-ton tanks in mass quantities.
I think companies got wise. The government gave them incentives to get wise. The big item to me is cost plus contracting, plus 8%. At the end, that is, you get the cost back of what you had produced, plus a more or less guaranteed 8% profit. I'm simplifying somewhat.
Every man and woman in every walk of life is behind the thousands of workers in these plants. March forward. Modern states fighting wars do coerce their citizens into certain behaviors. We're being told right now, don't walk around, don't do this, don't have gatherings. This is a stealthier enemy. It's invisible. You can't see it or smell it or taste it, and so it's got everybody a little bit on edge.
We'll be invoking the Defense Production Act just in case we need it.
So to give the president broad authority to kind of make sure that enough medical resources were being produced, were being concentrated in the right places.
The treacherous attack cost our Pacific Fleet 2 battleships outright, another capsized, the loss of 3 destroyers and a mine layer.
If Pearl Harbor was December 7th, right now we're like on January 7th. Do you know what I mean? We're about a month into the full depth of the crisis as far as Americans can see.
So that these merchant seamen can get to their ship, 3 non-essential travelers had to give up their places.
Historically,
that's the way priority works.
Telling the American people to do with less has not been a winning message politically. Americans love the limitless possibilities of being American. You can do what you want, go where you want, be what you want to be. And now you're told, well, not for the duration you can't. You have to slow down a little bit.
Producing for a war that will conserve our way of life. March forward into your job. That job is your country, the United States of America.